it's Kris.
And I'm Wyatt Elliott from Notebook Entertainment.
And this is the Horrorland News. So we were off for a week, which means we have a pretty long show because we have a lot to report to you guys.
Sure do.
We were out of town, so we took a week off. We weren't out of town for anything fun, so nothing to brag about or tell you guys about. So let's get right into it with our TV roundup.
No TV and no beer make Homer something.
Alright, so while we were gone, Chucky finally finished its series.
It's fucking Chucky.
It was fantastic.
Full review coming soon. It's just, we've been so
busy. Yeah, we'll have a review coming soon, but it's been renewed for season 2 already, so that's fantastic news because it needed it. Like, I have so many questions. Are they going to use the same kids? Are they going to move the story somewhere else? Because are they going to focus on Andi with the truck full of dolls? Can Andi survive another season with a truck full of dolls? Is Kyle really dead? Because, yeah, they said there was a body there, but could it be someone else's? Oh, my God, you guys.
And for goodness sakes, what's happening with Fiona Dorff's character?
Right.
You know, like, wow. All of a sudden, this movie turned into Boxing Helena, which is a reference that most people probably won't get. But look it up.
Oh my God, you guys. I cannot wait for season 2.
Here's Chucky.
If you have not watched season 1, please get on it because you are missing out. It is fantastic.
And I believe an update since we last talked to you about Chucky is that all the episodes are streaming on Peacock now. So get yourself a subscription to Peacock.
It's worth it. The Office is there. You're fine. Like,
yep. And Peacock just added, you can add a profile icon of Michael Myers or Chucky now. So
Michael Myers it is.
It sure is.
I love me some Chucky, but
I used to have Michael Scarn, but I think it's got to be Michael Myers or Chucky now. So
So moving on, we've got Day of the Dead. There's we watched 3 episodes that I had saved on my DVR. There's 2 episodes left. They tricked me into watching this movie or this show.
Yeah,
and I care now.
It still has its moments for me. I'm not thrilled about it, but I do find myself getting pulled in when we can binge it. If it was one episode, I don't know. I just can't focus. But you start binging them, and then I don't know why.
It just pulls you in, yeah.
And, you know, some of the characters are dumb. Some of the acting is okay.
And now they're finally getting into, like, the plot. And there's a bad guy now.
Yes.
And there's this corporation.
Stuff's happening.
Finally. They've got Bub is finally fully Bub. And, like, it's starting to really take off. Some of the characters that I came to like are starting to die, and not enough of the characters I hate are dying.
Yeah.
And what pisses me off, I think, and it's showcased in a little argument they have in one of the episodes we just had, is the beginning of this, there was a mayor race for the town. And you had the very stereotype conservative, and then you had the very stereotype liberal. And they have an argument, and it's a very black and white argument. Her side, his side. And me, I'm sitting there like, well, I can see both sides,
right.
And you guys should come to a compromise because she wanted to just shoot every zombie on sight, which is the conservative, and the liberal guy was like, well, there are friends and family, there could be a cure, we should be trying to capture them, not kill them. And I'm like, okay, point to both sides, but you have to have some kind of compromise. I say try and catch them, and if they get past you or try to kill you, shoot their asses. Like,
because the thing is, she brought this up when we were watching it, and I do think it's a strong point. In this universe, they don't know what this living dead zombie thing is. It could be a disease that's curable. There could be a vaccine, you know. So they're sitting there, you know, our thoughts are, well, they're zombies, kill them. But in this universe, they don't really know that. And they're not, you know.
And we've seen, it's been really inconsistent. Like, we've seen people get bitten or whatever and turn. There's one main character who was bitten, like, the first episode. She still hasn't turned, but some crazy things happening with her arm. Like, she's not in control of her arm.
I don't know. Like, they've been referencing so many zombie movies. In fact, she even caught a reference to Shaun of the Dead in this last one. And then all of a sudden, it's Idle Hands. And I don't know why.
Which I love Idle Hands, but I'm not sure it belongs in this movie.
But like, is the zombie, like, trying to... But then it doesn't make sense because she was trying to prevent herself from stabbing somebody.
Right.
And zombies don't generally want to do that. So
right.
I don't
that's
know.
That's why it was, like, more idle hands.
It's so bizarre.
Yeah, there's no consistency here. So we, as the audience, don't know what the rules for zombies are here. Do you get bitten if you change? Sometimes. Do you become one as soon as you die? Sometimes. Do you have to wait a while after you die to become one? Sometimes. Yeah, there's no consistency, so that's a problem.
It looks like to me is only the dead come back.
Nope, because there was some people that bit that, like the hick guy that I like.
But didn't he die first?
He died because he got bitten and he lost blood and he died and then he
turned.
And then he turned. But he turned, like, right away. Whereas we've seen other people, lay there for a while and then turn. But it's also getting kind of interesting because now we're introducing Native American tribes and, like, curses. Well, not even Native American curses, because let's be clear that the original zombie problem was a white European colonist problem that the Native Americans tried to help them with. Some guy named Cooper turns out to be, like, the original zombie guy that was down in the hole from way back in, like, the first episode. And they did this really cool time jump that would have been even cooler if they made it clear.
Yeah.
Like, the storytelling, we thought that the stuff with Bub and the corporation and the fracking was all happening at the same time as the zombie coming out. But come to find out, like, nope, that stuff with Little Bub happened the day before, and Bub is the one that caused everybody in town because he dumped the original, like, Cooper corpse in the drinking water or in the water well. I don't know.
Yeah, and to make it clear, the show is kind of like a soap opera where they have several batches of characters all happening at once, and it cuts back and forth. So Bub is just in that cut. So everybody assumed that was just...
the same day.
Same day. So it's a great twist, and I really like it, but it's not executed.
No, they did not make it clear.
Wow.
Because we were sitting there, I had to stop and be like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that we're on this, that we're understanding what just happened here.
I believe we, like, paused it and talked about it.
Yeah, we had to sit there and discuss, like, okay, there really are saying that, okay, all of that stuff with him happened the day before. Yep. Okay, like, and we had to figure it out.
And then I'm sitting there in my mind trying to remember, did they ever interact? And I don't believe they did, so...
So, yeah, the woman that he saves or whatever, then she gets into town. That's the first time she knows that they're zombies, because she was dealing with Bub the day before and the corporation.
Yep.
So finally, the mayor's husband guy that we hated, like, there's some bad acting, but he was the worst. Yeah. And so with him dead, I kind of don't mind anyone else's acting. Like,
right, and he died cool. He did. Like, I was worried his acting of dying was going to be horrible, but it was fine, and... and then they tried to make it emotional with the son and stuff, and, I think that this show tries too hard to be more serious than it should be.
It's trying to be a soap opera, because soap operas can get to that very campy place while being dramatic, while having the romance, while having... I mean, my favorite soap is General Hospital. They had a guy build a weather machine. Like, I'm telling you that this... feels more like we're watching a horror soap opera than a horror series.
Which maybe that's the idea.
Which might be why I'm starting to like it.
Right. Right. As I'm watching this, I'm starting to get Dederson vibes, which is our show from a few years back. And she wrote it and created it. And it was started out as a sitcom, but as it went along, it got kind of like a soap opera of zombies. And so it's kind of like giving me those vibes, and which, again, is not necessarily a bad thing if the characters are just a little bit better, if the execution was better.
But again, I am starting to like I've always liked the doctor character and all of them, because their group understood camp. Yeah. So they always were entertaining to watch.
Really like when you watch him, because he gets a shotgun, he starts being kind of a badass.
Yeah.
But I want to give him really, and maybe this is more kudos than it deserves, but I feel that it's on purpose. And he's playing it where, like, you can tell he's played video games before. It's probably his only reference to holding a gun and moving around. And, like, you watch everybody else and they're like this, and he's going like this, like a video game. And I feel like it's on purpose. Because that's what I would do. I've never done it before, so I would channel Call of Duty and stuff.
Right.
And I think it's kind of funny. And I was chuckling at that when I was watching it.
So they have a lot of stuff to wrap up in the next 2 episodes, and I hope they do because I do not want to have to sit through a second season, but I fucking will. So, because they tricked me into liking this show.
Yeah, I'm fine with if they were to give it. Like I was telling her, this Chucky is a significant blockbuster on their channel. I guess it is. Yeah, Sci-Fi's a channel because of. They aren't used to getting mega views like this. So for this little show, it might be good enough for a Sci-Fi second season.
I did some looking around on the internet. There's no rumors or anything about it yet. Nothing's been announced. There aren't a lot of people talking about it. No. I can see why because of the slow start. But again, we stuck through it and it's starting to get batshit interesting.
Good, yeah. And who knows, maybe it'll go on Peacock when it's done.
Which might help.
I think that would help it a lot.
Because it's definitely a show that needs to be binged. And I think if they do a season 2, it should go straight to Peacock and just be bingeable.
Yep.
But speaking of bingeable shows, we added a new show to our TV roundup, Elves from Netflix.
Yeah, this was a Danish show.
Yeah. And we watched it with the subtitles and everything. Not hard to read, guys. And the whole thing's up there, but we forced ourselves to only watch 2 because we want to be able to spread it out.
We're starting to get hooked already.
Yeah, it is so good, guys. 2 episodes in, and I'm hooked. And the baby elf is so cute. I want one. Like, I know it's gonna grow up to be a murder monster or something, but like, I want one so bad.
Right. At this point, it's like, is this a horror movie or is it Gremlins? What is this?
I don't care. I love it.
But it's really cool. It's well done. Like, the special effects are good. The cinematography is good. The acting is good. In fact, we accidentally started watching it with the dubbed, and the acting wasn't bad.
Yeah, I was sitting there like, wait a minute, this is in English? I thought it was in, another language or whatever. And then I noticed the mouths were slightly off. I was like, let me fix that, because we don't need English dubs. They're not always the greatest.
Yep, and then when the second episode started, it reset back to
Netflix, what the hell?
What was up with that? But, again, we got to hear a little bit of it, and the acting is solid.
Yeah.
So if you can't read, if you just can't do subtitles, I say just watch
it doesn't
this one.
seem to be as bad as Squid Game was.
No.
For the English dub.
Give it a shot.
But yeah, like I said, 2 episodes in, I totally recommend it. We are taking our time with it because we have so much to get through right now. This is a busy season for us, Christmas, especially on our other channel, Notebook Movies. So, so we're going to take it slow with this one and kind of spread it out. So, more on that to come as we watch it, but 2 episodes in, definitely already recommend it.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, so let's get into the news.
All right, here we go.
All right, so Netflix revealed a trailer for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's pulling a Halloween, and they're forgetting everything but the original and then building from the original. And as we know, Texas Chainsaw already tried this within their own franchise with the 3D one, and it didn't exactly work out great for them because that movie sucked ass.
And then they did the prequel Leatherface, which was the last one out, I believe.
Which wasn't horrible.
I never watched it, I'm going to be honest. I never saw it. I'm going to have to stream it and watch it.
It was better than the 3D one.
I did see it. I saw a 3D one in theaters, and I was not impressed.
I have definite higher hopes for this because it is produced by Fede Alvarez. It's Old Man Leatherface, and he's going to be played by Mark Burnham, which, I don't know, I think they could have gotten someone more familiar with doing that kind of work. Like Kane Hodder, someone like that.
Yeah.
It's coming out February 18th, and it's directed by David Blue Garcia.
I am going to miss part 4 in the universe, because...
You are the only one.
No, I'm not. I have edited so many of Thanks We Hate It. I don't have to watch the movie now. I know this movie backwards and forwards and all the shitty scenes in it.
It is bad.
Yeah, so... Because, Texas Chainsaw, I'm going to be in ears, and here's another truth, is not my favorite series.
No, it's not
I do like
either.
it. But I've never seen 4. I've never seen Leatherface. And I've never seen 3.
them all. I just never. I don't like them, but I've seen them all.
But I am gonna see them. In fact, maybe before this comes out, I'll get caught up, and I'll even watch 4, just for you, Alex.
You should. I'm telling you should, so that you can understand where Alex and I are coming from. Because
we should all watch it and put it
together.
on Patreon as like a
just
behind
a watch
the scenes
party.
thing. We'll put the camera on us.
We should do a watch party.
Let's do a watch party. There we go.
All right, so next story, Stan Lee and horror.
What?
He loves Stan Lee.
Yeah.
And he actually, before Stan Lee died, we did get to see him at one of his last appearances at a Comic-Con.
Right.
We went for his birthday, and yeah.
Yeah, it turned out to be like the second to last appearance that he made, and it was an awesome birthday gift, and I'm so thankful that we got to do it.
It was cool.
It was cool. We met him for 1 second.
Yeah.
Here's the picture right here. Look at my face. I
Right.
mean, I'm not even like, all I remember is standing next to him and kind of like, I didn't want to like directly look at him, but I like side-eyed him, and I'm like, this is Stan Lee, the man. And, you know, we weren't allowed to talk to him.
The way my face is in the David Tennant pictures, his face is...
Yeah. It was just odd to meet your hero, I guess. Or one of my heroes. So.
Yeah. Well, before he helped create some of the world's greatest superheroes, he worked on some horror comics, and they decided to bring 2 of those to life in film.
That's amazing.
Yep. They are being brought to us through director Timur Bekmambetov from Wanted. He did Wanted.
Oh, yeah. I believe his first name is pronounced Timur. But
Timur
yeah.
Bekmambetov.
I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but
I tried.
I do like Wanted.
And then ZQ Entertainment and Stan Lee's own company, POW Entertainment. And there's 2, like I said, 2 projects being developed. And they do predate the 1960s Marvel superheroes.
Everybody starts in horror.
Right.
I'm
So
telling you.
the first one is called Sawbones, which is hilarious.
That is awesome.
Because tell them why.
Okay,
Yeah.
so in our other channel, in Open Movies, and the FML, it's our series, in the universe, there is a fake horror movie that we made for clips, and it's called Bonesaw. And it's a typical slasher, but there's an inside joke within the universe where people get the name wrong all the time. And we even did a fake interview with one of the actors for it, and they kept calling it Sawbones.
Right.
And I don't even remember how it got started, but that was a joke, that they can't get the title right all the time.
So when I was doing this story and I saw Sawbones, I just immediately started cracking
That's
up.
amazing, yeah.
Yeah,
Makes
inside
it
joke
better.
for us, but still. All right, and that's about a frail 12-year-old named Alex Corbin who reads a mysterious comic book and is transported into the comic's terrifying world. A haunted juvenile detention center overrun by demonic forces led by Sawbones, a homicidal entity who preys upon the troubled inmates. Has Alex gone insane, or is this nightmarish world his new reality? If he is to escape, Alex must find a way to defeat Sawbones, but he quickly comes to realize that Sawbones is the keeper of his darkness and the personification of all of his fears.
I'm in. I'll watch it.
I'm totally going to watch that.
Right. That sounds cool, whether it was Stan Lee or not. It just sounds kind of cool. I'd
Right.
watch that. I like
psychological thrillers. So.
I like asylum things too.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know, it's not an insane asylum, but still, it's going to get that feel, that
Yeah.
vibe for sure.
All right, and so the second project is Carnival of Killers.
Oh my, I like carnival stuff too.
Right.
So.
So this one is set amid the Dust Bowl storms that ravaged the American Great Plains in the 1930s and centers around a young girl with psychic abilities who senses that the traveling carnival she and her mother sought refuge in is ground zero for a looming alien invasion.
Oh wow.
I'm definitely watching that one.
Right. I have always had a fascination for carnies and carnivals and freak shows, and so someday you're gonna see us produce a horror film in those lines. But yeah, that's cool. Aliens involved too.
For sure, I love aliens.
Alien
guys.
clowns, maybe there could be some demented stuff there.
Well, we already kind of had that with Killer Clowns from
Well,
Outer
of
Space.
course. But you know, and it, I guess, is an alien of sorts. But
well,
let's see how.
it's complicated what it is.
Although, I mean, a carny turns out they're aliens. I mean, that's not that far fetched.
Really isn't. There's currently no information available on expected release dates or casts, but the 2 movies will be adapted by Kevin Kolsch, Dennis Widemere, and Matt Greenberg. And between all 3 of those guys, they've previously worked on the latest Pet Sematary adaptation, as well as 1408, which I loved.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Halloween H2O, which I loved.
Yeah, I love that movie. Yeah.
And Rain of Fire, which I did not love.
Rain of Fire was a missed opportunity. I remember when that came out, I was super excited to see it. You know, dragons versus tanks. Who wouldn't want to watch this? But, yeah.
I was down with the dragons. I was not down with the tanks, so. They halfway had me.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on, our next story. We already previously talked to you about the Foo Fighters movie, Studio 666, and they've released their first promo video, and it looked amazing, you guys.
This looks amazing, yeah. I think I was working or something on editing something, and she had to, like, stop, and we had to stop everything we were doing to watch this, because it was really, and it was really, really cool. Mm-hmm. I'm excited for this to be in theaters.
Yeah, and they're taking it real seriously, because the special effects and everything that we saw in the clips, I mean, when Dave Grohl's eyes go dark, like, it's amazing.
Right, I can't wait to see. And I'm okay with this being campy. I think this should be campy. I'm not sure.
It's supposed to be a horror comedy.
Yeah, I'm not sure the feel they're going for, but it looks like it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, they've said horror comedy, and it's basically a movie to release their new album.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's a wide release, limited release.
It is. It's February. Theaters are February 25th. You can buy tickets now at studio666movie.com.
Sweet. Which, the way that they're selling the tickets kind of makes me wonder if it's like what Kevin Smith did.
It might be.
You know, it's like an individual theater.
No, because when I clicked on the link, it did bring me, because we were in Texas when this broke. We were on our little trip.
Did it take you to?
It took me to whatever their, like, AMC theater is where we were. So.
All right, well, cool then. That answers that.
Still doesn't mean it's not, a smaller release than normal, but AMC is getting it, so.
Which is awesome, because now more people have a chance to see it, so.
Yep. So we've previously, our next story, we previously also told you about Mike Flanagan's new Edgar Allan Poe project called Fall House of the Usher. I am super excited about this, and they've started announcing some of the cast. Mark Hamill, Carla Gugino, Frank Langella, Mary McDonnell, and Carl Lumbly will be in this.
Frank Langella.
So, yeah, and they have announced some of the characters. With Mark Hamill and Carla Gugino, we have no idea yet. They haven't announced. They're kind of keeping that secret, because those are kind of the two big stars. Like, Carla Gugino, I've loved her forever.
Mark Hamill is...
And Mark Hamill is Mark Hamill, so, I mean, they probably want to keep that under wraps. The main character of Roderick Usher will be played by... Frank Langella.
Oh, he's the main character.
Yeah, he's the main character, Roderick Usher, and he's the patriarch of the house. So he's the main part of the story. And then he's got a sister, and what was her name? Mary McDonnell is going to play the sister, Madeline Usher. And then Carl Lumbly. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Carl Lumbly is going to play C. Auguste Dupin, who is a reoccurring character in Edgar Allan Poe's, he's in 3 different stories. So Dupin's first appearance is in The Murders at the Rue Morgue, which is one of my favorite, and that story is considered the first detective crime story, which is amazing because, so the thing about Dupin is he was the smart, intuitive detective that was super smart, smarter than everyone around him, before Sherlock Holmes was ever created. He is the first. He is technically, Poe wrote the prototype for everything that comes after in the mystery and noir genres, including the groundwork for these, incredible detectives. Because he was very smart, he used his intellect to solve crimes, and he was so intuitive and stuff that he seemed to be able to read the mind of his companion, who's the unnamed narrator in the 3 stories that he's in. And he was basically a detective, but he didn't call himself a detective because in 1941, when the book was published, or when the story Rue Morgue was published, the word detective hadn't been coined yet. That word was not coined until later in the 1840s. So Poe actually did create a whole crime and mystery genre, which is one of the reasons I love him. Because I love horror, but mystery is a very close second for me. So I'm very excited that they're bringing this character into it. And I'm excited to see where this is going to go. I'm very excited about this whole project.
Yeah, that sounds cool. It sounds like they have something to work with now. If he's in multiple of Poe's works, they could just string those together or something.
Rue Morgue is his first appearance, but he's also in The Mystery of Marie Roget and The Purloined Leather, which are, again, other than those 3 stories go more mystery than horror. There are some horror elements, but they definitely go more mystery than horror.
Okay. Yeah.
Mike Flanagan said that even more exciting casting news is coming, so I'm guessing even more big names. And we'll bring you that, the premiere dates, and any other information as it comes, because, like I said, I'm super excited about this project.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see it too. They haven't really done a Poe movie that was actually based on his work in a long time.
Yeah. They did that Raven movie, but that was like about him, and John Cusack, I think, played him.
Yeah, it was like a fictional tale where if he was solving crimes or something. So
it was okay. All right, so let's move on. And this is a story you wanted included about Shout Factory releasing Mike Dougherty's Krampus as a naughty cut.
Yes, I did, because I like Mike Dougherty.
I like
who
Krampus.
doesn't? He obviously creator of Trick or Treat. But he also made a movie called Krampus, which did take me a little bit to see. But now that I've seen it, I love it. And I think that there's a lot of cheesy B Krampus movies out there. This one was the one with a decent budget, and I thought that he really brought it to the mainstream. In fact, he inspired me to build a Krampus costume for our other channel. But he wanted it to be a family horror. He wanted it to be. So it wasn't the MPA was like, you can't do this. It was that he wanted it. So, but still, the MPA came after him and said, you can't do this. And so he had to cut things out. So now, thank goodness, a Shout Factory, and he is working with them to restore the footage and put it back in. He has come out and said, you're not going to see a lot of extra gore. It's not about that. It's about this was cut out, and he just wants to put it back in as he originally envisioned.
It's about 4 minutes added to the runtime.
So this is a true director's cut, not extra gore, nothing like that. However, I still think it's worth seeing if you really like this movie.
And from what I've heard, I don't understand why the MPAA actually cut these scenes.
Honestly, I have not researched what the scenes are. I'm just going to watch it and experience it. But if you have, that's great.
No, I haven't. I just did some research for the story, so.
And I don't, I'm sure it's bogus. Like, I know I've heard so many stories of how the MPA works and how.
I heard if you've seen the DVD, I heard that some of the scenes being cut back in are simply from the deleted scenes list.
Oh, sure.
Too, so.
Yeah. Sure. So it's probably not going to be, if you're a real big fan of it and you've seen all the bonus footage and everything, it's not probably going to be anything mind-blowing.
Right.
But for your collection, for just to see what the original thing was, I think it's interesting.
Yep. And it's available now. You can get it now anywhere.
Yep. I'm going to order it.
All right. So that was a lot of news stories we had to get through because we were off for a week. So now we're going to go into our indie film spotlight.
Sweet.
My advice to young filmmakers, make a movie every week. Make films, no matter what anybody says, and you'll be a filmmaker.
Right. So today we're going to talk about a short film I found on YouTube, and I wanted to keep the theme Christmassy for December, because obviously. And this one is called Jolly. It's 4 minutes. It's not very long, but it is very entertaining. For me personally, we'll get to that. It's on the Midnight Video YouTube channel. Directed by Todd Spence and written by Todd Spence and Zach White. It's starring Todd Spence with Zach White as the voice of Santa. The SFX makeup was done by Kate Klein, and like I said, it's 4 minute runtime, and it's a fun watch. It's basically an animatronic Santa head starts talking and moving on its own. You know how those toys normally you have to make movement or make sound to make a move? Well, dude's sleeping on his couch, and the Santa head, just a head, starts talking to him, saying disturbing things and issuing threats that he's going to kill him at midnight when Christmas arrives. And then the Santa head starts a countdown. I won't tell you what happened, but...
spend the 4 minutes and watch
it. Spend the 4 minutes and watch it. It's worth it. It's so much fun. But I personally picked this one because it tapped into my own personal fears of animatronic toys. Because let me tell you, okay, so when I was like 14 for Christmas one year, I got an animatronic Tigger doll.
You're terrific.
And it was cute. It just sat there, and like you moved your hands or clapped or said anything, it would move its head and sing and all that. I put it on my shelf at night, went to bed, laying there silently in my bed, not moving, and all of a sudden, its head turns and stares at me with its eyes glowing. And no sounds, no reason for it to have turned its head. It didn't say anything. It just slowly turned and stared at me in my bed. Took the thing, chucked it in the living room, never came into my room again. So this movie spoke to me. This short spoke to me for sure. I you know, I'd seen Chucky. I knew no living toys for me. Like, no.
I love
Nope.
it. All right, so we need to make a...
Tigger tried to kill me is what I'm getting to.
We need to make a Killer Tigger movie. Got it.
But Santa is basically that, and then what happens...
I like the ending of this a lot. Like,
Yeah.
I think that definitely comes out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting that. But yeah, I think it's well produced. I think it's very cool. I think it's well worth your 4 minutes to watch it.
Yeah, it's 4 minutes, guys. And check out the other stuff on his channel.
As always, check out his channel and subscribe and like. This is people make these 4-minute movies to kind of show what they can do, and there's a lot of people who have gotten work from it. You know, if they're
look at the Lights Out guy.
Exactly, the Lights Out guy. There's been several others that I know I won't be able to come up with off the top of my head,
Right.
so I'm just gonna move on.
That's why I said Lights Off guy, because the only...
Right.
Because I just talked about him.
So, you know, like, that's why I think it's important that we watch these, because it may only be 4 minutes and there's a fraction of an idea there. Sometimes they're worth expanding on, sometimes they're not. But
this doesn't need to be expanded on.
No, but it shows that they can build tension. It shows that they can shoot. They can keep it, you know, keep people enthralled and interested. And that's the point. And I think we're going to make more short horror movies going forward.
Yeah, it's fun to sit there and watch these on YouTube. Because I go through like 20 of them before I find one. So it's, I get to see a lot more than I'm reporting to you guys. And some of them are better. Some of them are worse. But I pick the ones that I think are going to resonate. And that are easy to watch and fun. And again, Jolly, it just struck a chord with me because that I've been holding on to that Tigger thing for a really long time.
Gotta get it out.
I've told that story because it needs to be told. That toy was possessed. You can't convince me otherwise.
Your mother sucks cocks in hell.
So yeah, Jolly, go watch it on the Midnight Video YouTube channel. We'll provide a link. Check out the rest of the stuff on their channel. Like and subscribe if you like their stuff.
And like and subscribe this channel.
If you like our stuff.
If you like our stuff. And you want to see more, it's ring that bell. It's the best way to get notified every time we post a video. So.
Yep. And we have a lot of fun stuff coming up this week. We've got a review for I Know What You Did Last Summer series.
Yep.
Another new episode of Thinks We Hate It. We're doing another Filling Plot Holes. So yeah, we got fun stuff coming up this week. So make sure you subscribe so that you can get all that awesome content.
There you sure do. All right. So I think that's our show for today. On that note, and thank you for watching and allowing us to do this because we love horror.
Yeah, have a good night, good fright.
Bye.
Any questions? Is there an age limit on potential victims? Good question. No babies. We're not savages. Anyone else? Oh, yeah. Could you define baby? I mean, they can get pretty wily once they start walking.